Even though noon and midnight remove any ambiguity, people still talk about 12 o'clock. Well, it's all fun and games until you schedule a meeting for 12 o'clock and half the people show up at lunch while the other half are in their pajamas. I go the other way and almost never say 12, even when it would make sense. Person, what time is it? Me, noon 30. Just set your meetings to be at 11:59 a.m. or 12:01 p.m. and problem solved. I've actually seen overnight buses scheduled at 11:59 p.m. to avoid any confusion. It doesn't really bother you if you use 24-hour measurement. Depends on situational context. What time is the meeting? 12 o'clock. What time did you go to bed? 12 o'clock. Also, I'd use midday rather than noon. But I also prefer using the 24 hours clock too. I always say noon o'clock. My wife hates it. 50 priests died in a horrible bus accident. Ever wonder how to get a nun pregnant? You dress her up like an altar boy. There is a joke in Serbia. The difference between an Orthodox priest allowed to marry and Catholic not allowed is that the Orthodox hang his kids' clothes to dry in front of his house, whereas the Catholic hangs it behind it. A Catholic priest and a rabbi are sitting on a bench near a playground. The priest goes, "Man, I really want to screw all these kids." The rabbi goes, "Screw them? Out of what?" This joke works better if St. Pete asks them about diddling kids. A homosexual encounter would be no different than breaking any other vow of abstinence. How do you keep a Catholic priest from molesting kids? You can't. So the bus accident was horrible because 20 of the 70 priests on board survived? I'm dating this woman, we have not been intimate yet. What the hell is going on with those commas and other punctuation choices? A woman who pays for her own condoms is a woman I can respect. I expected the condoms were for her. What? Maybe the Magnum was for her. When you mentioned the Magnums, I was expecting that to go in a different direction. What's KY if it's not the jelly? And what brand of jelly do you use? You need to ask yourself why the cashier looked nervous and frazzled. Yikes. He did not directly specify whose ex-boyfriend the cashier was. Or my brain is fried from studying for an exam I'm still gonna fail. Sounds like they should be on Jerry Springer. Not bad. I actually had a friend who did this, though not to her ex, just this creepy guy who was stalking her. Nice joke. Could probably use a bit of work, but his thought it was quite funny. Reminded me a bit of this. My friend Jay recently had twin daughters and wanted to name them after him. It took me a stupid amount of time to get this joke. I immediately assumed it was a paternity joke. I have been on Reddit too much. My friend Jay also had named his twins one boy, one girl after him. Jason and Jay daughter. My name is JK Elemenape. My sister had twins and her husband couldn't be there. The hospital staff asked me what the little boys and little girls' names would be so they could file the now called Denise and of course they'll be named after him. It's not like he can name them before him. I don't get it. Bottom TSS. This joke could be extended. I and my husband Jay named our daughters after us. Their names are K, L, and M. You know the difference between you and me? I make this look good. My wife told me to put ketchup on the shopping list. In hindsight, that was a mistake. You may have wanted to add a little mustard too. I don't think you're gonna relish that experience. This joke is so bad I condemn it. I'm not so sure this is true. Do you have a sauce? Now you're in a real pickle, aren't you? You got condom in it, you heard that. You guys in the comments will probably have 57 ways to add a little flavor to this joke. Ask Del Monte. He might know where it is. Can someone explain? I asked a grocery associate where the ketchup is. He told me to go down the aisle and hunt for it. Do you want fries with that? This one has good taste. Yes, even I tried and mayonnaise can't see it. I didn't taste any better. Good dad joke. But why did she want you to add ketchup to the list if you already had ketchup? Crying face. On average 67 million people die per year. The Simpsons has been on for 34 years. 2,278,000,000 people have died while The Simpsons have been on TV. Matt Groening should be in prison for this. Make it a graph, and this is no longer a shower thought. It is our dad is beautiful post. Not figure assumes that the population of the world, and thus deaths, is constant. I don't think shower thoughts include statistics you had to get out of the shower to look up. TBF, though I suppose nowadays you can just have your phone in there, so I suppose it checks out. Lol. This isn't a shower thought. You didn't do that math in the shower. 2,278,000,000 people so far. The good thing about death, eventually everyone gets it right. They have been killing it. A baby born when the show debuted is a few years away from being Homer's age. Coincidence? I think not. I blame The Simpsons for every one of those deaths. One of the first sneak previews ever was the number 5 appearing in the number 4 in Roman numerals. Now this is a shower thought. After 6, 7 and 8 seemed lame, so they knew they had to spice it up. They put another sneak peek of 10 in the number 9 to get everyone hyped again. Oh shit. 9 just dropped, so you know X is next. I can fucking wait. This is exactly the kind of twisted point of view I come here for. Thank you. Wow, never thought about Roman numerals that way. Mind blown. I for one find this shower thought very amusing. Sometimes the number 4 is written as 4. That's sort of how I remembered it back in the day. Then they did XC for 90, the mad lads. Weird, the small numbers are defined in terms of big, or it's the other way around. I feel like this is significant, but I don't know enough math to know why. This is my favorite shower thought ever. Come on man. Give me a spoiler alert. You, my friend, are hired up. People who are 25 years and above. What's the harshest life lesson you've learned? No one is going to save you. You have to save yourself. Shit can go south in a literal heartbeat. If your employer is doing something illegal or unethical and you decide to confront them about it, for fuck's sake, do it in a way that all communication will leave a paper trail. You can do everything right and still fail. Your friends from high school or college will disappear if you don't make the effort to stay in touch. Your health can evaporate quickly. Checking all the boxes required to be successful does not mean you will actually be successful. By the time you hit 30, all the small things you've gotten away with that everyone bugged you about starts catching up to you. Bad posture, welcome back and neck, welcome a strong stretch, welcome diet, welcome various health issues. You always feel invincible when you're young. 30s where you realize you were wrong. Till Anne Green was accused of infanticide in 1650. She was hanged despite evidence she had miscarried. Her body was taken to Oxford for dissection, but they found she had a faint pulse. After treatments that included a smoke enema, she was revived and later pardoned in the belief God had saved her. She survived, despite the best efforts of the 1650s. They literally blew smoke up her ass and told her God saved her. Is that where the phrase came from? She was tried and convicted of murder under the Concealment of Birth of Bastards Act 1623. Birth of Bastards. This sounds like a Tarantino movie. What a wild ride with that one. They once hung a pig for the same crime. Or was that witchcraft? Smoke enema sounds like a great band name. Till there's such a thing as a smoke enema. Till in 1980 the FBI formed a fake company and attempted to bribe members of Congress. Nearly 25 of those tested accepted the bribe, and were convicted. They should do it again. And afterward, Congress greatly limited the ability of the FBI to do it again, and issued a number of hearings condemning the use of undercover activities by the FBI. Where can I vote to make this a standard practice? Like secret shoppers always keeping businesses on their toes, the government should have to deal with that too. They can't do this anymore. Even if it were to lose probably 90 of our Congress right off, with the other 10 demanding a larger bribe. And then Congress passed a law that forbidden the FBI from doing that ever again. American Hustle with Bradley Cooper, Jennifer Lawrence and Christian Bale was based on it. Should be a yearly occurrence. Till Nazi villains in movies often having dramatic facial scars is based on reality. Fencing was popular among German university students in the early 20th century, and many received permanent scars from the sport. Many real-life Nazi officers had scars from this time. To be clear, those scars were highly sought after and were basically the whole point of this sport. They were not made on accident at all, and the stitching was messed up on purpose to leave dramatic scars. It is called mensure, and it is still practiced. I remember that the practitioners cannot move away from one another, and will usually wear some protective goggles for the eyes, and the is shown in The Mystery of the Spanish Chest, Agatha Christie's Poirot, with David Suchet. 1943 film The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp covers the background to this issue and is an excellent film. Till when Machiavelli was tasked with writing the history of Florence by the Pope, he faced having to say unpleasant truths about the Pope's family, the Medici. In order to avoid displeasing him but remain objective, he included all the negatives about his family as words uttered by their enemies. So, not all that different from our modern politics. He always envied their success and wealth, and contrasted it with his own misfortune, and could say that Machiavelli had mixed feelings of resentment and admiration for the Medici. He wanted to become close to them, not only to secure his own safety and livelihood, but also to influence them to adopt his political ideas, and he was disappointed by their dependence on foreign powers. Journalists love doing that still. You can't publish speculation, but you can publish quotes. Ao Dispish success. As per his worst enemy. Lol. Clever. Talented man, talented at everything. Till tennis balls used to be black and white, but changed to yellow for TV viewers thanks to David Attenborough's suggestion. David fucking Attenborough. Is there anything he can't do? I've always thought they were like neon green. Am I colorblind? Didn't ice hockey try that with glowy pucks? For context, David Attenborough used to be the controller of BBC Two and then the director of programming for the BBC. His tenure covered the early development of color television. My dog prefers the taste of the yellow ones. Allegedly the TV red and yellow colors from Gibson were to not cause a glare, be better visible on big WTVs. But that might just be a myth that's stuck around. That's Sir David Attenborough to you. We're Washington Post journalists who spent months reporting on one of the biggest leaks of government secrets in U.S. history and Jack Teixeira's possible motivations. Ask us anything. Any indication that Teixeira was directly connected to malignant actor countries or groups rather than being a lone actor? How did the Washington Post go about deciding what to report from the leaks and what not to? Were there any doubts about posting any information from a document due to national security concerns? I remember reading about the leaks related to War Thunder, where gamers with security clearances wanted to win arguments about the capabilities of tanks and other military hardware. In your reporting you say Teixeira's motive appeared to be just clout? Any more details about motivation, or the reception by the communities he was trying to impress? It baffles me that someone would risk their freedom just to get some strangers online to think they are cool. What do you call a paper airplane that can't fly? This joke folded upon itself. Oh shit, I think we should scrap this joke. Dead wood? You are pushing the envelope with that joke. Looks like the paper stock was too heavy. Hey Dan, did you just get a bunch of blank stares from this? We all know Kevin is the best paper airplane maker even though Angela took out Toby's eye. A piece of shit. Not plain paper. The Antonov and 225. Bahalsa. This seemed like a good joke on paper. Stationary. I see what you did there. It's stationary, and it's stationary. Well played, good sir. Well played. Paper, a tri-wing, Russian plane, construction paper, paper ground plane, grounded plane, crying face, stationary. What is the most incredible human feat of all time? Going from the first airplane to space in less than 60 years is quite incredible. Coming back from the moon. Air travel is an industry with flights going all around the world constantly every day all the time. Like we're not just flying a few planes here and there, the scale of operations is completely normalized and optimized, requiring constant monitoring, logistics, and coordination with people both in the planes and on the ground. And we treat it like we're taking the bus. I mean, I've seen enough people talk about the moon landing, which come on, they did that with computers less advanced than our cell phones. So I'll add the fact that throughout history humans have made pyramids all across the globe even with primitive technology. The Egyptians were also like 100 miles off from figuring out the circumference of the world. For people who couldn't travel the globe nearly as easily, that's some seriously impressive stuff. What is the vegetarian or vegan equivalent of eating a rotisserie chicken with your bare hands in your car in the parking lot? Eating an entire whole watermelon and then wearing the empty carcass as a hat. An entire brown, foldable to-go box of hot bar mashed potatoes with mushroom gravy using a small to-go sauce container as a spoon. Tub of hummus, $1 of French bread from the store bakery, $1. Filling, almost zero prep work, and about the same price as a rotisserie chicken. My dumbass teenager eating an entire head of lettuce one leaf at a time while sitting in front of a video game. My sister and I crushed a Korean jalapeno pancake with our bare hands in the car the other day. Pretty similar experience both in terms of ecstasy and level of grease. A large store-bought cheese pizza. Really though, that's it. I try to have leftovers available so that I can have a quick and easy meal that isn't terrible for me. What name brand item will you always buy? There is no alternative to Cheez-Its. All off-brands are noticeably inferior. Dawn dish soap, everything else is trash. Lee & Perrins Worcestershire sauce. There's not a replacement. Diet Coke, Q-tips, Cheez-Its. Better than bouillon. Viva signature cloth paper towels. Q-tips. All imitators are just sticks with a tiny bit of fluff. Lego, Cheerios, Pop-Tarts. Never have I ever found a store brand or off-brand that tastes anywhere near as there are tons of store brand nacho chips that taste fine. But when I want flamin' hot Doritos, nothing else will suffice. Heinz ketchup, Goldfish, because none of the replacements are good. No, I don't want the fancy stuff from Whole Foods cause that doesn't taste good either. Q-tip, Band-Aid, I never regret Band-Aid brand Band-Aids. What weighs more, a gallon of water, or a gallon of butane? Nice one, you're on fire. This is a joke, but also true. The density of butane is way lower than water. What weighs more, a gallon of water or the daily stresses of life and the responsibilities that come with supporting a family looming over your shoulders? My dad says butane is a bastard gas. Good one, I just got burned. Care, this joke is inflammatory. What's the difference between a hippo and a Zippo? One's really heavy and the other is a little lighter. Also, you're probably right. Because butane is less dense than water as well. Is it farther to Boston? Or by train? But Bhutan is a whole country. A kilogram of steel. Because steel is heavier than feathers. Walter White here. AMA, a gallon of butane, you forgot the cylinder. The joke should read. What weighs more? A pound of water or a pound of butane? What's hot when you're horny but isn't when you're not? Things that are messy or sticky. Sucking on someone's fingers. Don't tell me what to do except for when I want to be told what to do. Spitting, spanking, choking, hair pulling, lol. The chicks I've brought home from the bar. Riddle me this, Batman. Just about anything in porn. I'd come always horny. Spit. Degradation. Porn. That nut clarity hits different, especially if it's anything kinky. You know how you're on all fours and he keeps tugging on your hair, because he wants you to turn your head and maintain eye contact. Because he wants to stare you down as he dominates. Your neck is sore but the whole thing is insanely hot, plus you get off on how much he gets off on. Slapping. Sexting. When I'm like super horny I'll sometimes find myself attracted to women. Bodily fluids. All of them. You can have $100,000 but you can never get drunk or high again. Are you interested? Why or why not? Can I not take any medication that gets me high? Like if I'm in horrible pain and need morphine to cope, it's off the table? Then nah. I don't think any money would be worth a life of potential suffering and misery. The fuck am I going to do with 100k then? I'll take the money, change nothing and be 100k richer. Wait, like I physically can't get drunk? Or I'm not allowed to? The former, hell yeah. Then go around making bets and drinking people under the table. Till someone stabs me or, may. Nah, 100k isn't enough to live on indefinitely. It would have to be fuck you money.